6:50 now. This is your morning in 8 minutes. Right now, a hotel in Gatlinburg is working to find a woman seen petting a wild bear.
This happened over the weekend at the Quality Inn Creekside Hotel in downtown Gatlinburg. Take a look at this. Misty Crimson captured these photos and said the woman you see here started petting the bear's nose, pretending she had food. She says the bear swiped at the woman moments after. She wasn't hurt and eventually left the bear alone. But the hotel wants to identify the woman to kick her out. Now, this is not the first incident at the hotel. The manager says they see the same 4 or 5 bears walking around every few hours of the day. While our crews were there yesterday, this bear was digging around in some garbage. The manager advising everyone to keep their distance and says not following the rules can lead to you being kicked out.
Right now, a Blount County caregiver is behind bars this morning after being indicted on rape charges. The TBI says 21-year-old Isaac Albright sexually assaulted a developmentally disabled person in his care earlier this year in Knox County. A grand jury returned an indictment against him. He was arrested yesterday and booked into the Knox County jail. A family in Florida wants $1 million from Gatlinburg after their child allegedly fell from a rock wall at the attraction.
According to a lawsuit last year, the child climbed the rock wall and was halfway down when he fell, hitting his head on the concrete floor. The suit claims that employees didn't secure the boy before he started climbing and that soft padding should have been at the bottom of the wall in case someone fell. So far, Ober is not commenting. And starting next month, Knoxville police will no longer respond to most non-injury car crashes. An officer will only be called to a non-injury crash if DUI is suspected, if a car is stuck in the road, or if a driver is being disorderly, or if one of the drivers is uninsured or unlicensed. Police Chief Paul Noel says the change will give officers more time for other public safety issues.
The Anderson County Animal Shelter will be closed for the next 2 weeks.
The shelter says they're forced to close its doors after an animal tested positive for parvovirus. The virus is very contagious, mainly affects dogs. The shelter says there's no quarantine area available. They will continue to monitor the health of the animals they have and are adding extra protocols. They hope to reopen August 15th. And continuing coverage right now, hundreds of people still missing in eastern Kentucky as search and rescue efforts continue today.
Governor Andy Beshear says the death toll has risen to 37. He says first responders are still running into areas where it's difficult to get to. Right now, around 12,000 people still do not have power. The governor said some school districts may have to delay the start of school because of damage to buildings and facilities. The Tennessee National Guard is back home after helping first responders on the ground for about 3 days in Kentucky. They say when they got to some of these areas, entire communities were just ripped apart. Some water currents were so strong they ripped train tracks out of the ground. The group is now on standby to go back if they're needed.
In an appeals court in Kentucky reinstating the state's trigger law banning abortion. Trigger laws are those that were designed to take effect in the event of Roe v. Wade being overturned, which of course happened in June. Kentucky's Republican Attorney General Daniel Cameron hailed the decision. Meanwhile, Planned Parenthood called it a, quote, devastating day for all Kentuckians.
Around the nation, President Joe Biden says Osama bin Laden's right-hand man, Ayman al-Zawahiri, was killed by a U.S. airstrike in Afghanistan.
His death means all the key plotters in the September 11th attacks are either dead or captured. In an evening address from the White House, the president said the al-Qaeda leader also played a key role in the deadly 1998 U.S. embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania and the 2000 attack on the USS Cole, which killed 17 American sailors. Afghanistan's Taliban government issuing a statement condemning the airstrike as a clear violation of international principles and the 2020 Doha agreement that led to the withdrawal of U.S. forces.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will visit Taiwan during her trip to Asia. China is warning a visit to Taiwan, a country they view as a breakaway province, would seriously undermine China's sovereignty and lead to, quote, grave consequences. China has responded by increasing military exercises and patrols. If Pelosi makes the trip, she would be the first House Speaker in 25 years to visit Taiwan. U.S. crude oil prices are dropping nearly 5% to just below $94 a barrel. That's the lowest since February 25th. Analysts blame the losses on soft global economic data in China and Europe that signal weakening demand for energy. The good news is the prices at the pump continue to drop. And here's a look at what you'll be paying at the pump this morning. The Knoxville average price of $3.97 is around 20 cents higher than the statewide average of $3.76. Nationwide, that price is sitting around $4.19 a gallon.
And a traffic alert, more speed bumps coming to Knoxville. The city says crews are installing 180 speed bumps in neighborhoods that want them, all thanks to the program that works with the city, transportation engineering, and the Knoxville Police Department. Over several months, neighborhood groups were asked to collect data and work with the program on ways to help slow down traffic.
And with that, we do want to get a check of your first alert traffic as you're getting out the door. Give yourself maybe a few extra minutes as more students heading back to class today. That includes Maryville, Lenoir City, and Loudoun County schools. So give yourself extra time and space on the roadway. If you are traveling on I-640, just a reminder that that traffic shift continues between Broadway and the I-40 exit. They had crews out there this morning blocking off the right-hand lanes of 640 East, just east of Broadway. No delays if you're traveling that way.
Your first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Heather Haley.
5 minutes to 7 now. Some sprinkles and light showers are fanning out with this cloud cover off of a batch of rain and storms that's to our west. So really what it's doing is just pumping out the clouds and helping to create what has been some very light showers that are popping up here. Get some sprinkles so light you'd have to be driving in it in many cases. But right now it's 72 in Knoxville to Kingston and Stearns, 72 Sevierville to 69 in Cosby and 68 Vonore. Little cooler further south and east away from that cloud cover and humidity. Still makes for a beautiful sunrise. You can see it kind of peeking through these layers of clouds over downtown Knoxville as we're just after official sunrise. 72 now with that nice breeze out of the southwest that'll kick up a little bit more at times. Could get occasional gusts around 20 miles per hour as warm air and humid air blow into town today, but at least it blows those clouds out for the most part. It becomes partly cloudy this afternoon, 80 midday, high today 90 degrees, and then still upper 70s at 9 p.m. because we're cranking up that heat, but combining it with the humidity, it's important to basically tell yourself, plan ahead for it, feeling like 98 in Knoxville, even feeling like triple digits around Loudoun County, including Lenoir City, all the schools going back in, feeling like 97 in Maryville, 95 in Jamestown, and easily feeling like 96 in Stearns to 94 in Middlesboro today. Feels like temperature where you live today, Dandridge 98, Rutledge 96. Next couple of days, we're going to stick with this steamy trend. Obviously, summer's not going anywhere in this first alert 8-day planner.
That's what I always hated, is I loved summer so much, so I just wanted to get outside and enjoy the sun. At least they got some more time for that. 6:56, we're headed to WBXX. Have a good Tuesday.
Charlotte.